Star Wars The Clone Wars has officially wrapped up, and what better way to end off this series than to have the finale air on May the 4th. This is going to be a spoiler review of Victory and Death, the finale to Star Wars The Clone Wars, the finale to Season 7 of Star Wars The Clone Wars. So if you don't want to be spoiled, click off the video and come back later after you watch the episode. So I jotted some things down after watching the episode for a third time earlier this morning, and probably a fourth time later tonight. It was a beautiful episode, but probably not my favorite of the last four of the Siege of Mandalore arc. I think that has to go to the previous episode, Shattered, because of Order 66. Just that moment when Order 66 was issued, it just felt like a very powerful moment that it's just unrivaled for me. But this episode was a direct continuation of that, obviously. Ahsoka and Rex have to escape the ship. So at the start of Victory and Death, Ahsoka and Rex have to escape the medical bay, because if you remember at the end of last episode, they got stuck in there after Ahsoka got Rex's chip, inhibitor chip, out of his head. It's actually kind of a funny moment that happens at the very start of the episode where Ahsoka tells Rex to set his guns to stun. Not even like 10 seconds later, she force pushes a door, and honestly, it looked like it killed probably 2 or 3 clones that were in front of that door. It gave me a little chuckle, I'm not gonna lie, because she just said she doesn't want to kill them, and then she killed them. So Ahsoka and Rex are making their way to the hangar bay because they have to get off the ship. And the reason they have to get off the ship is because Darth Maul, who was freed by Ahsoka in the last episode, is continuing his rampage across that Star Destroyer. He is slaughtering clones left and right. I like the use of the Force in this episode. It feels more emphasized than any other Clone Wars episode we've ever had, and probably more emphasized than even the movies. They really go all out with the Force, especially considering Darth Maul doesn't have his lightsabers. Maul uses the Force to destroy the hyperdrive reactors, which forces the ship out of hyperspace, which is probably the most beautiful shot of the episode and of this season. I'm a big fan of Clone Wars ships. The Venator class Star Destroyers are probably my favorite ships in all of Star Wars. So seeing it come out of hyperspace damaged, it was very beautiful. Ahsoka and Rex get to the hangar where they are greeted by Jesse and the whole battalion of clones. Ahsoka outright says that she doesn't want to be the one that kills those clone troopers. Rex explains to her that they don't care. The inhibitor chip is controlling them. They are willing to die along with the ship as long as Ahsoka dies with them. Rex takes Ahsoka down to Jesse and a whole battalion of clones and says what the community has been saying. Ahsoka's not a Jedi. We shouldn't kill her because she's not a Jedi. Jesse obviously doesn't buy it. The 3 little droids that helped Ahsoka last episode help her again in this episode. But then of course our boy, our red tattooed boy, Darth Maul, pulls up and he steals the shuttle. He does a nice little force push on Ahsoka, which I like. I like that he didn't help her because she didn't help him last episode. We see Ahsoka do what Rey did in Rise of Skywalker, where Rey was holding back a shuttle using the Force. Ahsoka did the same thing, except instead of shooting lightning out of her hands like Rey did, Ahsoka just decides to let go. After fighting off a bunch of clones, they eventually make their way and find a Y-Wing and get off the ship. The really nice sequence of Ahsoka free-falling out of the Star Destroyer. She is free-falling in the debris of a Star Destroyer that is about to crash into a moon. It just sounds epic, and it was epic. But of course, Rex is able to save the day, and he catches her with the Y-Wing, and they make their way to safety after the Venator Star Destroyer has crashed. So Ahsoka and Rex make their way to safety. Ahsoka creates like a little funeral for the clones. She's able to find a bunch of helmets. She puts them on pikes and just honors the clones that died in a crash. And it's really sad because they couldn't do anything about it. They're being controlled by the inhibitor chip. They got Order 66 and they just had to do it. Rex was getting ready to leave, and I'm not sure if Ahsoka stayed on that planet. It's not really clear, because once Ahsoka drops her lightsaber, she drops the lightsaber, and then it cuts to probably a few years into the future. You see stormtroopers, snow troopers, and like those little Imperial Viper droids flying around, and you see an Imperial shuttle land, and we see the boy, the myth, the legend, Darth Vader pulling up to check out the wreckage, and he finds and picks up Ahsoka's lightsaber. He ignites it. There's something about seeing Darth Vader, big black suit Darth Vader, holding a blue lightsaber like that. It just hits different. I think it's assumed that the Empire declared Ahsoka Tano dead in the crash of that Star Destroyer, so Vader showing up himself to confirm this, however long after Revenge of the Sith, I think is what happened. I think he went there to see if he could find anything related to Ahsoka. He finds her lightsaber. He probably assumes she's dead, which is why in Rebels later, a few years later, he says the apprentice lives when he senses her. It was a beautiful ending. The episode was really good. It's really sad. Order 66 is a sad event. When I watch through Revenge of the Sith now, all I can think about is what's happening on Mandalore, what's happening with Ahsoka and Rex, and how Order 66 affected them, and that Star Destroyer going down, and everything that happened with them. And the final shot of the series is a close-up of a clone trooper helmet with Ahsoka's face paint on it, covered in snow, and you see the reflection of Darth Vader walking walking away from the helmet, walking away from his past life, the Clone Wars. Let me know what you thought about the episode. I thought it was great. Let me know what you thought about the season. Tune in later this week. I'm going to be breaking down the Skywalker tragedy and why I think Rey adopting the name Skywalker, spoiler alert for episode 9, is actually a really cool thing. So again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.